Please subscribe to the channel and stay with me. This story only makes sense when you hear it all the way through. The wine hit my shirt like a slap. Red, expensive, Bordeaux red, spreading across white linen as laughter died mid-breath around the long New Year's table. For a second, no one moved. The chandelier above us hummed softly, crystals trembling as if they, too, were embarrassed. My wife's father lowered his glass slowly and looked straight at me. "You will never be one of us," Henri Laurent said, "no matter how hard you pretend." Paris, outside the tall windows, exploded with distant fireworks, colors flashing against the winter clouds. Inside the Laurent apartment, 6th arrondissement, old money, inherited arrogance. Time froze around my stained chest and steady hands. My wife, Claire, whispered my name, not to defend me, to warn me. I dabbed my shirt with a napkin and smiled. "It's only wine," I said. "Happy New Year." That was the moment they all misunderstood me. My name is Antoine Morel. I was raised in Saint-Étienne, in a concrete apartment block, built for factory workers who believed loyalty mattered more than dignity. My grandfather died underground in a mining accident that was quietly blamed on him. My father learned early that anger only gets you replaced, so he taught me patience. Claire and I had been married 6 years. To the Lawrence, I was always the inconvenience, the educated son of nobody who somehow married their only daughter. They tolerated me because I was useful. I worked in corporate risk analysis. I understood systems, leverage, quiet pressure. Henri thought that made me small. He liked loud power, old power, the kind that assumes it will never be questioned. The dinner continued awkwardly. Claire's mother avoided my eyes. Her brother Julien smirked, enjoying the humiliation like entertainment. Henri drank more, confident, dominant, king of his table. At midnight, they toasted. I raised my glass too. "To family," I said. Henri snorted. "Some of us are born into it." I didn't reply. That night, Claire cried in our bedroom, apologizing for her father without ever saying he was wrong. "You know how he is," she said. "He doesn't mean it." "I know exactly what he means," I replied softly. She fell asleep. I didn't. I stood by the window, watching fireworks scatter over Paris like temporary promises. Then I picked up my phone and made one call, not to a lawyer, not to a friend, to an old contact who owed me a favor. The Lawrence made their fortune in logistics, shipping contracts, port access, cross-border supply chains that looked clean on the surface. Henri loved to boast about his empire. What he never understood was how fragile empires become when they rely on reputation. Over the following weeks, I did nothing visible. I showed up to family lunches. I smiled. I nodded. I wore darker shirts, but quietly, I began pulling threads. Risk assessments were requested, audits initiated, partnerships reevaluated. A single anonymous inquiry reached the wrong regulatory desk at the right time. Nothing illegal, nothing dramatic, just attention. Henri grew irritated. Delays annoyed him. Julien blamed middle managers. Claire noticed my calm and mistook it for forgiveness. Spring came cold and wet. Paris smelled of stone and rain. One morning, Henri called me. "You work with numbers," he said sharply. "You hear things? What's happening?" I paused, just long enough. "Markets change," I said. "Sometimes respect does too." He hung up on me. The investigation escalated. A foreign partner withdrew. A bank froze credit lines pending clarification. The Lawrence had built everything on confidence. Confidence evaporates faster than money. At Sunday dinner, Henri looked smaller. Julien was defensive. Claire squeezed my hand under the table, sensing the shift, but not yet understanding it. "Did you do something?" she asked me later. "Yes," I said. "I stopped protecting them." The moral line cut deeper than I expected. Claire had grown up inside that family. Their cruelty had shaped her the way neglect shapes bone. Quietly, permanently. I wasn't just dismantling Henri, I was forcing her to choose. The climax came in July, during a board meeting I wasn't supposed to attend. Henri stood, red-faced, shouting at men who no longer feared him. Documents were projected on a screen, irregularities, risks, unanswered questions. He demanded loyalty. He got silence. Then someone asked who had initiated the review. All eyes turned to me. I didn't stand. I didn't smile. "I did," I said, because respect matters, and I was tired of pretending it didn't. Henri stared at me, finally understanding. You did this because of a glass of wine. No, I replied. I did this because you thought you could throw it. The company survived, stripped down, smaller, controlled by people who understood consequences. Henri was forced into retirement. Julien left Paris. The Laurent name remained, but hollowed. Claire moved out a month later. Not angrily, quietly. I love you, she said, but I don't know who I am without them. I nodded. Neither did I. Until now. On the next New Year's Eve, I stood alone on the Pont Neuf, watching fireworks bloom over the Seine. The cold bit my hands. The city roared. Revenge didn't feel loud. It felt inevitable. And for the first time in my life, I raised my glass, not to family, not to power, but to myself.